Hello and welcome. My name's Kellyanne Cummings and I am your life coach. The reason I have put this little video together is so that I can actually have an opportunity to share with you what the journey is all about. Now, what I've discovered is when I get an opportunity to go through the details of the journey, it's a whole lot easier for people to get their head around. So why have I called it a journey? Well, the reason I've called it a journey is because I take people on a 3-month journey. Now, there's no quick fix to changing our mindset and getting different results in our life. And so what I have come to discover over nearly 15 years of helping people is that there is a journey that they will go on. And the first step to that journey is discovering how they're wired. Now, when you understand how you're wired, and then when you understand how everyone else around you is wired, it changes everything. It's probably one of the greatest gifts that I can give you. And the analogy that I like to use before I share the next 5 steps is that we often find ourselves building our lives on 2 platforms. Some people will build their life on a rock, and some people will build their lives on sand. Now, when there's no storms of life happening, it's all good. Both houses stay standing. But when the storms of life come, which they do, which house, the question I ask is usually which house is likely to fall to the ground? The one built on sand. But you know what? It's all good because what we do is, as Australians, we are really resilient. So we rebuild our house, and people are so supportive. And remember, I'm speaking figuratively. People are so supportive. They get alongside us, encourage us and cheer us on. And we rebuild our life. And we rebuild our life with the same thoughts, the same experiences. We're rebuilding it with all the same resources that we had previously. So what does that mean? We rebuild it on sand. So remember I said when the storms of life are at bay and when, all is well, doesn't matter where we build our life. But then the next storm of life comes through. And what happens again to the house built on the sand? It comes crumbling down. So what I have come up with is 6 steps, or what I call 6 mindset tools that I can put into people's hands that will enable them and equip them to rebuild their life, obviously we're talking thought life, on a rock. So when I can help you rebuild your life on a rock, when the storms of life come, which sadly they're going to come again, and the storms are, all different things, a loss of a job, a loss of a relationship, a loss of health, a family member, all different things can really hit us from behind, and we're not prepared for it. But if you rebuild your life on a rock, and you now, when that storm comes, have the ability to navigate that storm better, then it's not going to knock you down and literally the house comes crumbling completely down. So the journey is about helping you to rebuild your thought life. And so the concrete platform is discovering how you're wired, discovering how those around you are wired. And the gift in that is helping you to actually realize you're amazing. In fact, you've always been amazing. You just didn't realize it. And I show you how to stop playing that dreaded comparison game where you're looking at the other people around you thinking, oh, they're far more amazing than I am because they do this and they do that and I don't do this and I don't do that. And then we feel rubbish. Whereas if you actually get to see, oh, so that thing that I do over here, these people don't know how to do that. Are you serious? I thought everybody knew how to do that. No, there's 4 different behavioral styles and each one of them has their own unique strengths and challenges. And so what I do is I will teach you all 4 so that you understand how you're uniquely wired, but also how others are uniquely wired. And this is so important. And then on top of that, I teach you how to wear a different hat because there's certain things that aren't your natural strength. Yet it's important for you to learn that behavior so that you can navigate and handle all different situations be that conversations, be that situations in the workplace, at home. When you know how other people are wired, you know how to communicate differently to them. And then I often will say we criticize what we don't understand. So this is the first most important step in the journey process, is understanding yourself and understanding others. So see it as a concrete platform. The next thing in rebuilding our thought life is teaching you about the differences between pressure language and freedom language. Pressure language are the words that you're using all day, every day. In fact, you learnt them when you were a little kid, and they are fueling your levels of anxiety. They are taking you and keeping you stuck in the depths of depression. They're causing you to feel overwhelmed, guilty, frustrated, angry. Now, what would it mean to you to know what they are and remove them from your vocabulary altogether? These words disempower you. In fact, these words are kind of like you're a puppet, right? People are pulling at the strings of your life and you're no longer in control. When we can remove these words from your vocabulary and insert new words, what I call freedom language, all of a sudden you are now re-empowered to live your life and you feel a whole lot more encouraged. Now, what's amazing about this is you're now equipped to think very differently, to handle your emotions a whole lot better, excuse me, than you ever have before. Now, if you're a parent, or perhaps you have a team in a workplace, or you're a boss, this is now something that you can share with them, right? So this is what I love about my work. I'm really, committed. I'm really committed to equipping you and empowering you to not only have a profound benefit to you personally, I also want to see the ripple effect out into your world. So when you can teach it to those significant others in your life, everything then changes. So first step of the journey, discover how you're wired and understand how other people are wired. Second step, understand the power of your language and that it's your language that's fueling experiences that you don't want. The third step is, I call this the self-management tool. This is a tool that basically allows you or shows you how to coach yourself. Right? I don't even need to be in the room at this point. This is a resource where when you're having a moment, right, you'll hear me say that word a lot, you're having a moment. This is where you get to sit yourself in front of it. And this is how it would work. I might say to myself, I've had a bit of a moment, I'm upset with somebody, or I'm angry, or I'm frustrated, and I actually stop and I say to myself, Kelly, the issue is never the issue. What's really going on for you? And I sit myself down in front of this tool and I look at all these words below the line. And I'm then able to put words to describe what's really going on for me, right? Because what might happen to somebody else, if the same thing happened to somebody else, they might go, oh, no big issue. Don't know what your problem is, Kelly. But for me, it's a big issue. And so I'm able to actually go, I feel stuck. And if I'm honest with myself, I'm playing the victim and I'm feeling a bit hopeless and, feel like a failure, right? So that's really what's going on for me. So I'm actually able to language and name it. Because this is where communication gets all murky. We get angry and upset over the thing that happened, but that's not really even the issue. But you don't know that yet. So what's amazing about this tool is you get to language it. Then when you're ready, okay, and this is really important, when you're ready, you get to flip it. And what I mean by flipping is, let's say, one of those things was you realize I'm blaming the whole world for, my situation, or I'm blaming my husband, or I'm blaming my sister, or blaming my boss, or you're in a blame mode, right? When you're ready to let go of just blaming everyone, because that's only going to fuel how you're feeling, the opposite of blame is responsibility. So basically what you're able to say to yourself is, you know what, I can keep trying to blame everyone. It's going to get me nowhere. Or I can look at, what can I be responsible for in this situation, right? And so it now puts you back into the driver's seat of your life, where it's like, well, you know what, I'm going to look at this situation, look at what can I be responsible for, and not keep blaming everybody else. Now, I appreciate every situation is going to be different. I'm just kind of giving you an example of how this works. You know, for example, you might recognize, oh, the real reason I'm frustrated is because I'm procrastinating, right? Well, again, when you're ready to stop procrastinating, you look at this form and you go, okay, what's the opposite of procrastination? Go up on there, and the opposite will be action. So it's like, okay, Kelly, you can keep procrastinating, or what's just one thing that you can do? What's one action you can take to move yourself out of this situation, or move yourself closer to where you want to be? So that's tool number 3. The 4th, 5th, and 6th tools really will be dependent on the group that I'm working with or the individual that may work with me one-on-one. And so I have a variety of mindset tools. And basically what I want to do is equip you with your own mindset tool bag and fill that up. So just to give you an example of all different things that I do, let me see what I've got. I've got my notes here. What have I done with them? Oh, here they are. Okay. So when people come and work with me, or if you're going to do the journey, you will walk away with 3 workbooks with packed full of tools and information and knowledge for you to learn how to think differently and navigate your world differently. And so the first one is discovering how you're wired. Don't know if you can see that. I also have a second book, and there's lots in here. Also, when you understand how you're wired, what I've included in that manual or workbook is the do's and don'ts, right? When you actually go, oh my gosh, that's how my husband's wired. And then you're like, all right, so what are the do's and don'ts? Okay, so do more of this and don't do more of that. And this can be a bit of a funny thing where you just go, oh gosh, here I am blaming him for everything. And oops, didn't realize that kind of thing for how he's wired doesn't really work. So now all of a sudden you can make different changes. And remember I said earlier, we criticize what we don't understand. And so for the first time, you're actually going to have insight and appreciation into how your family are wired, how those at work, your friendships, and so forth. Then I haven't quite had this bound up yet, but this is, so then the second booklet is all around understanding different love languages and languages of appreciation, how we show that. And that is amazing. That'll blow your mind. And then the third workbook is mindset tools for a better you. And so this is where in here, what have I got? I've got the 3 circles, right? What are the 3 circles? No one knows what the 3 circles are because this is something I've made up. And because there's, don't know if you can see this, 3 circles, I've called it the 3 circle tool. And so what this helps you to do is literally separate the meaning from the facts of what happens, right? When we can literally, something happens and pull out all the facts, the things that actually happened, and then separate that from the story or the meaning we gave the facts, that can change everything, right? So that's another tool. What else have I got in here? Change your thinking, change your life. The difference between fear-based thinking and faith-based thinking. And that's really about knowing how to separate the difference between, focusing on things that you don't want versus focusing on things that you do want. There's mindset tool, success strategies for life. So there's 5 steps that you can follow with that. I've also got daily reflections, monthly reflections. And what that is asking yourself 3 really important questions. And those questions are so important because what happens when things don't go to plan? We beat ourselves up, right? That's the first thing that we do. Well, these 3 questions that I'm going to share with you are a part of this journey experience where you get to now have a different conversation with self. Not sure if you can hear the dog in the background there. Everything I do is very raw and organic. So I teach you 3 questions for you to then have a healthy conversation with yourself, right? So anyway, I hope that's enough little extra information for you, because here I am promoting the journey, and those who've worked with me know exactly what's involved. Those who know me know what I do, but I realize sometimes it's not until I have these conversations that other people out there can go, oh, right, yeah, now I get it. So I am very unique in the marketplace in that I am a coach's coach. So I'm a coach to coaches as well as a coach to professionals and, mums and, ladies. And so what I'm wanting to do is basically reach those people who are looking to better their life, to improve themselves and understand the importance of developing and cultivating a growth mindset. And they're ready to do that. Now, not everybody's ready for change. So if you're not ready for change, that's okay. I just want you to know it's okay, right? Don't feel you shouldn't, you must have to jump on board this journey. No, this journey is for those who are ready and willing and are also willing to be a support and encouragement to others, because so many people find themselves very lonely, and they may have a family that they go back to, but they feel really lonely in that family. Some people are literally lonely. And so what I'm wanting to do is gather a whole bunch of like-minded women for now, right? I've been asked many times, will I do this same thing for couples? Yes, I will in the future. At the moment, I just want to focus on the women, because at the end of the day, ladies, when I can equip you and empower you with these really great mindset tools, it's already going to have a positive impact in your marriage. So even if we don't quite get to, bring in hubby, and can I just say, for those who are married, who know that they would really benefit from some extra support and encouragement and learn how to communicate better, sometimes the roadblock I know can be you can't get hubby or your partner to a counsellor or a psychologist because they're like, hey, there's nothing wrong with me. But when you say a coach, I think they just hear that differently. So go, oh, coach. Oh, yeah, a bit more open to that. So I've worked with many couples where the man is like, oh, yeah, no, the coach thing, see, I think I can do that. And then obviously when they have the first session, it's life-changing, right? And then we don't have any issues with them coming back. But obviously I'm a little bit limited to seeing everybody. So that's why I'm just transitioning into gathering like-minded people together. And, once there's some momentum to this, then I will look at offering next year probably couples as well. But there's nothing stopping you from commencing the journey and then coming back and doing it with your partner as well. So if you are watching this video and you're like, I think I'd like to do it, but I don't know if I want to do it by myself, please feel free to bring a family member. So mums and daughters do this kind of thing together. Girlfriends do this together. And there are some huge advantages to doing that, bringing some girlfriends with you, because now you're all going to learn a new language, right? And then you hold each other accountable for this new language. You girls will communicate differently. You and your daughter will communicate differently. So if you do decide to bring a friend or a family member, please reach out to me. This is an application-only process. The reason for that is I want to ensure that I'm creating a safe environment full of people who are ready to create change for themselves. And it's simple. And at the end of the 3 months, you're going to be blown away like everybody else I've worked with over the 15 years to go, that was amazing. So simple, so subtle. I don't teach anything that's difficult or complicated. I am here to support you, empower you, and encourage you with tools. I'm putting the tools in your hands so that you can then use them and there's a ripple effect in your family. So I'm going to include the details for how we can continue this conversation, and you're welcome to just continue the conversation, have a no obligation chat with me, And you know what? Maybe now is the absolute right and perfect time for you. And maybe it's not as well. So it's okay to have a chat with me briefly. And if you think, you know what, not quite the right time for me, that's fine. We can just stay connected. And when it's the right time, it's the right time. So thank you for watching right to the very end. I hope that gives you a little bit more insight into what the journey is all about. And I really look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks for your time.